fellow Marks, and welcome to the Mark Remark, the show that is sure to go down in history as yet another wrestling-related internet video series. A historical fact. You can't argue with history. History made. I make more history before breakfast than you do in your entire history. Have I said the word history enough yet? Good, then you know vaguely how it feels to have watched Raw this past week and I don't have to recap it. But fuck it, I'll do it anyway. My name's Martin, and I'm pretty sure that I've been a better United States champion than Roman Reigns. And I haven't even held the belt. This week on Total Non-Stop Emasculation, Stephanie McMahon gives Mick Foley his performance review, which for some reason doesn't consist of her staring at him for 10 minutes, shaking her head and saying the word "why" over and over again. Mick Foley came prepared to be unprepared.
Right here in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Look at that, you actually have it written there.
Yeah, I'm not going to get it wrong again.
In fact, Mick is so committed to not screwing up any more of his GM responsibilities that he's tattooed the entire schedule for tonight's Raw on his body in a bizarre tribute to Memento. He's even got "The Undertaker chokeslammed me off the Hell in a Cell" written backwards across his chest. So yes, kudos to Mick for literally showing that he hasn't got the mental capacity to do his job. That's sure to earn him lots of bonus points.
Some things you did get wrong.
No. Stephanie expresses concerns that the rumors about The Undertaker appearing on Raw might be unfounded. Yes, it would be a horrible turn of events if Raw had been promoting the appearance of a wrestler only for it to be some kind of idiotic bait and switch. Raw couldn't possibly be taken seriously if they allowed that sort of thing to go on. Just imagine living in a world where you can't trust the Raw production team to make good on their promise that a wrestler was going to appear. Madness. Utter madness.
I can offer no concrete evidence The Undertaker will be here. I have a very strong feeling.
It's called dementia, Mick. So in other words, even more GM bonus points. Seth Rumblings officially enters the Royal Roll and then gets into a brawn with Braun Strowman. You heard me. Stephanie McMahon substitutes for Mick Foley as the obligatory, incomprehensible, shrieking authority figure for this segment. There is now canonical evidence to believe that every episode of Raw since the middle of 2016 has been one of Mick Foley's chair shot-induced hallucinations.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Raw is live.
Roman Reigns tries to have a match against Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, but Braun Strowman shows up because, as the best wrestling scientists have proven, odds are magnetically attracted to Roman Reigns. In fact, it doesn't stop there. The oddities, Odd Job from Goldfinger, The Odd Couple, and the numbers 1, 3, 5, and 7 also come down to kick the shit out of Roman. The odds hate him that much. Seth Savings rolls his best friend for life, blood brother, soulmate, brother-in-arms, bestie in a protective vestie, Roman Reigns. Because as we all know, they are united due to their common enemy: character development. Stephanie McMahon makes some decisions.
This match is not going to end this way, and Monday Night Raw is not going to start this way.
Well, usually we have to wait an entire week for the events on Raw to be retconned, but this time we got it in a matter of minutes. Seth Rollins and Braun Rollman go one-on-one.
Braun Strowman is stalking the architect. There aren't too many superstars that can say that they've done that.
You know, except pretty much every opponent that he had when he was WWE champion in 2015. It's not like he spent the majority of that year running away from people or anything. That would be silly. Sami Zayn didn't appear on Raw tonight, and Corey Graves implies it's because he was busy stuffing his face at the local Cracker Barrel.
We talk about the grits and the guts of Sami Zayn.
The WWE should probably vet their camera shots from now on.
And rumors are The Undertaker will be on Monday Night Raw. That's not all.
You see, with the subliminal advertising, I now consider The Undertaker to be a sexy bitch. I'm joking, of course. I already thought he was a sexy bitch. Corey Graves has his own Byron Saxton voodoo doll, which he uses to inflict random bouts of severe, agonizing pain. Rumor has it that Vince McMahon has his own collection of voodoo dolls of the entire WWE audience. Professional wrestlers are required as a rule to have superior improvisational skills.
Right here, a little Bailey Boss action. Oh, I mean, and look.
Charlotte does her best impression of a WWE fan when they realized her feud with Sasha was mercifully over. Blah blah pop culture, blah blah current events, blah blah contextually inappropriate blah.
And I thought Emma Stone was Best Actress because, you know, she won a Golden Globe, but she clearly couldn't handle a candle to that performance, Banks.
Emma Stone, she can't handle candles. Tell her to blow out the candles on her birthday cake, she'll be confused for hours. The New Orleans crowd chants what during Jack Gallagher's promo, which goes to show how out of touch they are, as they missed a perfectly good opportunity to chant pardon. Shawn Michaels attempts to imitate TJ Perkins, which is slightly less cringe-inducing than in 2009 when Shawn Michaels tried to imitate Shawn Michaels. Mick Foley implores Stephanie McMahon to trust in his concussion-induced hysteria.
Trust that I have a feeling, after the beatings The Undertaker has given me, an innate feeling to know when The Undertaker is present.
Did The Undertaker imprint on Mick Foley? No, but seriously, this holds up. After all, logic has taken so many beatings from Mick Foley's booking decisions that it seems to have learned to avoid him when he's around. Shawn Michaels is hip to what the kids these days are grooving to, if you know what I mean, Jive Turkey.
Ah, yes, old HB Shizzle has got a lot of fond memories of the Royal Rumble.
HB Shizzle, so HBS. I mean, I guess that works because this truly is a HBS segment. Shawn Michaels is here to promote his upcoming faith-based movie, The Resurrection of Gavin Stone. Stone being the keyword, as trying to get a wrestling audience to go see this movie is like trying to draw blood from one. In a baffling turn of events, Rusev comes out and is hysterically funny for a good 5 minutes, but Shawn Michaels proves he can still hold his own with the best of them.
Do not say Golden Globe and then make reference to your wife.
That must be an American joke because I don't get it.
And by hold his own, I mean that Shawn was able to hold his bladder throughout the entire 20-minute segment. Poor guy's getting up there. Enzo and Cass arrive and offer other suggestions for movies that Lana could appear in.
The 40-year-old virgin.
How you doing?
Puss in Boots.
How you doing?
And the pianist.
Can't be saying that on this show.
I don't think you can say that stuff out here.
No. The pianist. Tickling the ivories like Billy Joel.
Cass, calm down here.
A piano player.
You see, Big Cass is trying to imply that Rusev is a penis, but at the same time, Big Cass is apparently also unaware of the joke that he just made. But I suppose that's in keeping with the theme of this segment, where everyone except Rusev looks like a bunch of massive penists. But Big Cass manages to recover from that like a professional.
I think... Yeah. I think that us three...
A professional pool cleaner, I mean. Certainly not a professional actor. Emelina is now officially the Duke Nukem Forever of WWE storylines. Lindsay Dorado is saved by an unexpected party.
Completely locked in. Dorado suffering, and now here comes the cavalry.
You know, I tease Michael Cole about mixing up cavalry and Calvary, but the joke's gonna be on me when one day a giant fucking biblical hill runs out from the back and makes the save. He figures if he says it enough times, it's bound to be accurate at least once. Roman Reigns bursts into Stephanie's office and cuts an incredible promo on her.
Okay, you know what?
Oh, my mistake, that's a potted plant. Charisma levels were about on par. Luke Gallows takes on Sheamus, and Cesaro provides some of the most intelligible wrestling commentary we've heard in years.
Stars in Japan.
Guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren. Hier schönen guten Abend in Deutschland. Je parle français.
Listen to this. I completely agree with you, Cesaro.
Roman Reigns cuts a promo on why the United States title is so important to him, all the while looking at it as though he keeps getting distracted by a pesky fly that got into the arena.
Regardless of how I feel, I have an obligation to defend this title, night in and night out. Doesn't matter how many people I'm going against, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's one versus all. So why would that be any different tonight?
Mick Foley reflects fondly on the old LAN games of Doom that he used to play with the WWE roster back in the Attitude Era days.
The Undertaker and I have traveled quite literally to the depths of hell together.
Mick begins passionately describing The Undertaker's entrance. Because if anyone or anything in the WWE needs to be put over, it's the fucking Undertaker's entrance. As though it's one of the most widely recognized and celebrated aspects of wrestling or anything. Without Mick Foley's emotional preamble, how would we have the context needed to understand if we should be excited or not? I would have just sat on my hands throughout the entire 10-minute explosion of smoke effects and visual orgasms if Mick Foley hadn't cried about it first. Stephanie comes out to give Mick his performance review right now, and she gives him credit where credit is due.
The first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. Historic. It was absolutely amazing.
Yes! Kudos to Mick Foley for deciding that that match should happen. Not the women in the match who did all the wrestling, or Sasha Banks for being the one to actually make the challenge, but Mick Foley. Good job, Mick. I especially liked the way you tried to lecture both women about how they had no idea what they were getting into. It really added a lot to that storyline. Bonus GM points right there. Mick also gets credit for Raw having jumped the shark. Having a match featuring a shark cage.
Chris Jericho in the shark cage. I mean, unorthodox maybe, but very entertaining.
It hasn't happened yet and it could be utter shit, but no, kudos, Mick. The concept of this match happening is very entertaining. Bonus GM points. Foley also gets credit for creating Braun Strowman. But trust me, it makes perfect sense when Stephanie explains it.
You've let your personal feelings get in the way with Sami Zayn, thus creating the monster of a man, Braun Strowman, who you can't control.
Yes! Mick Foley letting Sami fight Braun Strowman is definitely why Braun Strowman, a man who had been decimating wrestlers for the better part of 6 months, is an unstoppable force. It's not because of anything Braun Strowman did, that would be daft. And it certainly isn't anything Sami Zayn did, because who even knows what his motivation or feelings were in that feud? It was all Mick Foley. Bonus GM points, kind of. Shock of shocks, The Undertaker's appearance that had been advertised for the better part of a week did not turn out to be a baseless rumor. Undertaker announces his entry into the Royal Rumble with all the gravitas of Sesame Street's Cookie Monster.
Rest in peace.
Alicia Fox makes out with Noam Dar as a joke or something, which causes Cedric Alexander to break up with her, turning her into a villain. Turns out it's called 205 Live because the last time this kind of storytelling was considered entertaining was in the year 205 AD. Speaking of timely jokes...
That looked like a commercial... Oh, a commercial. What's the thing when you fall down and it helps you up?
Life alert.
Life alert. Help me. I fall and I can't get up.
Are we sure that the New Day wasn't secretly replaced with the Old Day? Because it would explain almost everything about their TV segments these days.
Booty juice.
What?
Booty juice. It makes sure your throat is loose.
You know, there are so many variations on that rhyme that are actually funny, but you picked the one that wasn't. Booty juice. You reach for the remote, but there's no use. Booty juice. It makes you long for the hangman's noose. Booty juice. Rhyming by itself isn't a joke. Just ask Dr. Seuss. Chris Jericho wins the United States title from Roman Reigns, which is really exciting for your 8th grade English teacher.
And we've got a brand new United States champion.
Here is your winner.
I didn't have time to recap SmackDown Live because I'm still working hard on Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, but judging by the results of Mick Foley's performance review, so long as I make a vague claim about a returning wrestler that ends up coming true without any actual work on my part, it makes up for any of my shortcomings. So I'm gonna make a wild suggestion that Brock Lesnar will return on Raw next Monday. And sure, they may have already advertised his appearance, but as was proven with The Undertaker, that is essentially meaningless and may as well be a baseless rumor, so fingers crossed. All credit to Mick Foley for this episode being as good as it was. His role as GM was hugely influential on the quality of this product. All thanks should be directed to him. Old LK Shizzle is gonna catch you jive turkeys next week. Toodle pip.